it was just a really good basketball game. I thought both teams came, ready to compete as they should. I thought FAU got off to a great start. I think John, does a great job with his team. He's built a great group. They played very unselfish basketball, and they made a lot of connecting plays against us. And so first for us, looking at what we did, I thought, I was really proud of our guys because when they got a double-digit lead, you could have gotten, even bigger. I thought we had some guys really step up in the first half and give us a huge lift. I thought Jordan Ivy Curry, especially in the first half, really helped stabilize us. And I thought off the bench, I thought JJ came in and gave us some real meaningful minutes in the first half to also help get us back in rhythm as well. So really happy those guys were able to step up in the first half.
Coach, talk about that critical stretch, down late in the second half, 5 or 6 minute mark, I think. You guys only had a 3-point lead. Then Darius Johnson, he had the 8-0 run. There was a steal in there. There was an assist. So he made a lot of plays happen for you to start to pull away. How big was that moment?
It was huge for us. I mean, he had a senior moment. It's great to have a senior point guard. Guys who understand what you want, guys who've been in those moments before. So he's comfortable. He made the plays that were in front of him. He made timely plays coming down the stretch for us, and like I say, he's a good free throw shooter, so you really can't foul him either. So I thought he was really terrific, and like I said, it's great having a senior point guard, a senior leader, and he exhibited that today.
Coach, you guys scored 100 points tonight. 3 players over 20 points. You mentioned before, they were getting good shots, they just weren't falling. Was this one of the nights where they were falling?
Exactly. I thought we got those shots that we were talking about, but they were knocking them down. And I think they're capable of having nights like this. I see them in practice, so I have a different perspective, and I know they're capable. And tonight, I think doing it in an actual game will help them understand that it's possible to do it on game night as well. So a lot of guys stepped up and made those plays for us.
Coach, Keyshawn, Jordan, and Darius combined for 69 points tonight. What has their consistent presence meant for this team early, especially with the injuries to Jalen and Mikey?
Well, it really helps us because it gives us guys that have all been in those moments before. All 3 of those guys have a great deal of experience. Jordan's a junior, Keyshawn's a junior, DJ's a senior, but all 3 of those guys, are capable of doing what they did tonight. And it's just really good to see them all do it on the same night. That just makes us, even more difficult to defend.
Coach, kind of another slow start to start the game tonight, and then another slow start coming out of the half. What do you want to see change regarding that?
We've got to get better coming out, starting games and coming out of halves. We've got to get better. We're working on that. Believe me, we're working on it daily, and things that we can do to try to help these guys understand how we need to start. But it's a process. These guys are still learning to play with each other. You're 3 games into the season. I expect some of that, where, how are we starting? What are we running? What are we doing defensively? We're working on all of that and looking at it all to see if we can find a way to kind of make it a better start for us.
Coach, Keyshawn mentioned that they were going to be in for some exercise at practice after giving up 94 points tonight. When you look at this high-octane FAU offense, what can this team learn from that as they move on and eventually have to face Big 12 offenses?
Well, they're very difficult to guard. The wonderful thing for us in 3 games, I think we've played 3 different systems. So these players on my team have to learn to play against 3 different systems already. And that's how it's going to be as we move through the season and, of course, in conference play. Everyone's not going to play the same style. And so you have to be able to make the adjustments. And I thought our guys in all 3 games were able to make the adjustment. They found a way to still win the game. And that's the most important thing. So tonight, playing against that type of offensive system, we're going to learn so much watching film, what we could do, what we can tweak to be better, and we should continue to improve as we go forward.
Johnny, the FAU coach talked a little bit about how he appreciated the fact that you guys signed up for this game to play them, because it's difficult for getting these kind of games, especially, so what was it that you saw that you wanted and the reason why you wanted to play FAU?
John does a great job with his group, as I said earlier. I looked at the guys they were bringing in, and they really they brought in a lot of talented players. And so I saw that, and you've been with me now, and this is, almost a decade. Oh. Us, we're gonna play everybody. We're gonna play, every team we play is always gonna be competitive. That's what we want to play, so our players can develop a certain habit that they have to be successful when it comes to conference play. And so, they played great, but we expected them to. Our players didn't walk in that game blindfolded. They knew that they were going to come in and they were going to be very competitive, they were going to be tough, and we wanted to play a good game to win.
Benny Williams had an excellent game, 17 points, 7 boards. I think you guys were plus 20 when he was in the game. He had that mid-range shot was falling. He made his free throws. Just how big was Benny's contributions tonight?
You know, he was terrific. You know, I'm just happy because I like to see young men, especially when they work as hard as he worked, have the success, because it just shows that hard work pays off. And so it reinforces habits we're trying to teach. And I mean, he's worked so hard this summer, this fall, and so now he's in these moments. I'm happy for him, you know, because I know what he put in, the sacrifices, commitment he's made to improve, and it shows on the floor. And so now he can still build off of that. Now once you've done that formula becomes, I know how hard I got to work to get better. You'll continue that formula and continue to improve.
Coach, you touched on the 94 points. That's kind of not your style, but did you learn that you can play a faster paced game, a higher scoring game, and still win, or does that need to be clamped down a little bit?
Well, we need to clamp down on that. 94 points is a lot of points in a regulation game. Now, I don't mind us scoring as many points. I just don't want to give up that many. So, you know, there are areas we have to improve in, you know, but as you just mentioned, you know, I don't know if in years past we've been capable of winning a game like that where we had to just outscore a team, you know, but we're able to because, you know, we have some guys that are capable of putting the ball in the basket a little bit more. And so we're able to win a game like that. And some nights, let's be quite frank, you're going to have to be able to just outscore someone, because sometimes guys like tonight, and they feel like they almost made everything. So if you don't, you know, make shots, then you're just going to continue to fall further and further behind. And so our guys, you know, really did a good job offensively of executing our game plan, and then we need to continue to shore up our defense.
Coach, you've seen some 100-plus point games in your time here at UCF, but this one was in regulation, which I have to imagine has been a while since you've seen something like that. What stood out to you about your offense tonight, that as opposed to other offenses you've had over your time here at UCF?
Well, this is my first time here scoring over 100 points or 100 points in regulation. So, you know, what it says is that we have some guys that are capable of putting the ball in the hole. I think they showed that they're willing to share the basketball. We had 19 assists in doing so. And so long as they continue to share the basketball, play unselfish, the ball has energy and find the right guy, you know, we're confident that whoever that right guy is at the time can make the shot. And that's what we want to have, a team where no matter where we move the ball, we feel good about the guy with it and his ability to make a shot. And I think we saw that tonight.
46% tonight from beyond the arc. Would you guys say that you're breaking out of a shooting slump after the first struggles in the first 2 games from the 3-point line?
Yeah, I don't think we shot as well as we're capable of. You know, I don't know if it would say it was a slump for us in, you know, game 3, but, you know, I was confident that we could, you know, get better shooting the basketball, and it was kind of good to see us do that, you know. But the best thing about the first 2 games for us were that we didn't shoot well, and we still were able to find a way to win. And I think our guys learned a big lesson because they know they can score. Our guys know they can score. But now we have to understand some nights the ball's just not going to go in for you. So is that your excuse to lose a game? Or can you still find a way and dig deep enough to still find a way to pull it out? And so I thought our first 2 games we were able to do that, which should be a good teachable moment for us as we go forward.
Keyshawn and Benny talked about the struggles of the defense, but said you guys managed to get some kills. How do you take that into Tennessee Tech and the rest of the season?
It's just about defense getting stops. You know, it's just that's a terminology we use for just getting stops, and that's what the game boils down to. You have to stop the other opponent, you know, more than they can stop you at the end of the day. And we were able to have a few more stops than they had tonight.
John, was this not the best matchup for him? I know he got into foul trouble and everything else. Just talking about his kind, the young freshman center. Yeah, John.
Yeah, exactly. He was a freshman today, and you know, and that's. It's going to be beneficial for him. All these experiences that he's facing, he's never faced before. He's 17 years old. He's figuring it out. And I'm just happy that we were able to be successful. And it's going to be a great, again, teachable moment for him. There's going to be so much good film that we can show him, you know, in situations, offensively, defensively, that he's going to grow from. He needs these type of experiences as we move forward so he can continue to improve.
Keyshawn Hall said to pray for the team regarding the practice this week after allowing this 94 points. What do you think the practice is going to look like this week?
Well, it'll be intense, that's for sure. There'll be some intense practices, but they should want them to be intense because it's about our standard. The score never matters to me. It's our standards, it's how we play. That's all whether we win or lose, we win by 20, and we don't play the right way, of course, not to our standards, I'm not going to be happy. But we could lose by 15, and we played the right way, did everything we could. I'm okay with that. It's all about our standards. So tonight, I'm looking at this game, and I give FAU a lot of credit, nothing disparaging. I mean, the coach does a great job. I think the team's going to have a terrific season. There are things that we have to do. I'm only thinking about us. There are things that we have to do to be better. And so, of course, I'm disappointed in that, and we have to start working on that immediately.
Coach, you had 4 guards with 15 or more points tonight, and this is without Mikey Williams or Jalen Sellers on the floor. What can you update us about those two status, and then how does their introduction kind of factor into this guard group who has already been scoring at a high level?
Well, those guys are still day-to-day, and so we're still waiting to see, their status as far as when, they could possibly be available. And so we're very, like I said, I'm just still optimistic, with regards to those guys. Right now what happens is you need other guys to step up in those opportunities. Like, this is basketball, so when a man goes down, someone has an opportunity to step up and show they can really help contribute to what we're doing. And so that's what we're having right now. We're in a position where guys are, having to step up and make plays. Like tonight, like a Benny comes in and makes a play. Nils, his opportunity. Debo's out there, playing. So we have guys that have some experience, that have had some success, that are in those roles. And this is their opportunity, to help our team and to give us as a coaching staff, more options and more things to consider, when guys do return.
Coach,
Time for 2 more.
whether the team is shooting well or not, one of the main consistent factors has been getting to the free throw line and converting them. You guys went 23 for 25 tonight. Something that was an inconsistent thing last season. What is the difference that you see at the free throw line?
These guys have really worked hard on them this summer and this fall. These guys, a number of them, if you look at their percentages when they were at different colleges, they've shot the ball fairly well from the free throw line. So we brought some guys in that have been consistent free throw shooters, along with our guys continue to work to improve on their free throws. We made an emphasis of that as, in drills, in the practice, in the middle of practice, different times, to work on just, focusing and concentrating on knocking them down.
How much of a factor is that for you, like mentioned before, when the team isn't shooting well, that these guys are getting to the line and making sure they're getting points one way or another?
Absolutely, that's big. I mean, we want to play a game where we balance our offense out. We don't want to be an all 3-point shooting team. We know we're not going to be an all at the basket team in the paint. We have to have the ability to knock down free throws or get fouled. Putting foul on the other team is always a good thing. I think that helped us with Bob Miller, get him in foul trouble. So those things help us. And so we have to understand the value of balancing our offense out, not being one-dimensional, and getting to the line is a big part of that.
Last question here.
You guys were able to withstand that 13-2 run to open the second half. How does that speak to the resiliency of this team and the continuity you're trying to build?
Well, I think they have a lot of confidence in themselves, in their ability to come back. The one thing about them is they keep competing. They've shown a poise, a calmness in those situations. And I think that starts with your leadership at the point guard spot. I think DJ sets a tone. He's calm. He's intense in what he's saying, but he's calm, in those situations. I think Keyshawn and Jordan have been in those situations before as well. And so the guys who don't have that experience, they've done a good job of kind of feeding and following those guys' leadership, feeding off of those guys and following their leadership. And I think that's why we've been able to, in those moments, just kind of settle down and start building from that position.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks everyone.
Appreciate it. Thanks a lot, Coach.
Well,